When Google first launched the Pixelbook 2 years ago, people were surprised that the company dared to ask for so much money for what was then still a largely unproven laptop OS. These days, though, Chrome is much more popular than it was back then, and there's been plenty of premium Chromebooks that have started to pop up. The original Pixelbook itself has gained a cult following too, with a lot of people calling it their favorite laptop, mostly because of the way it feels and the fact that it performs really well. Google wants to expand that audience by making something that's a little bit more affordable, because after all, the Pixelbook, the original one, is still $999. It's still a lot. The Pixelbook Go, though, that the company is launching today is a lot more affordable. It starts at $649. You can pre-order it today, and it will ship around the end of the month. For that price, you're getting something that still has similar high-performing guts to the Pixelbook, but there's some differences in terms of material that make it clearly a different device. From my brief hands-on anyway, there are a few features that stood out to me, but let's start with that external design. First of all, that ridged base. That just looks very different. It almost looks like an iPad cover. In addition to looking really unique, the ridged external surface actually apparently makes for an easier grip, according to Google. I did hold it. It did feel like it was easier to kind of keep a hold on if it were slipping out of my fingers, which thankfully it didn't during my time with it. The other thing about the Go's design is that it's slightly lighter than the original Pixelbook, which came in at 2.4 pounds. The Go weighs in at 2.3 pounds. They're also distinct in the way they feel. The original Pixelbook was a glass and aluminum machine. The lid of the Go, though, is made of a painted magnesium alloy that has a sort of soft touch feel to it, kind of rubbery, but it also helps the Go achieve its lighter weight. The Pixelbook Go also just looks a lot more basic than its more expensive brother. That one has a square aesthetic to it. This one has rounded corners. It's got that G logo on the top left. It looks more cutesy overall. One other design element that might just go unnoticed is the hinge here, and bear with me while I explain why this is important. Google went to some lengths to make it possible to open the Pixelbook Go with one hand. It made the hinge of the laptop slightly less resistant so that it's easier to kind of push it all the way back, but also added weight to the base of the device so that it doesn't topple over when you're trying to push it. This worked so well that I couldn't stop opening and closing the Pixelbook Go and then comparing it with another laptop I had on hand. The difference is clear. It's easier to open the Pixelbook Go with one hand than others. This might not sound like a killer feature, but it's one of those little touches that will make a difference in your daily life. The base model of the Pixelbook Go comes with a Full HD 13.3-inch touchscreen, which was performing fine during our testing. It's a little dim under super bright light. We watched a few YouTube videos and they looked fine on this Full HD screen, and if you really need a sharper display, you can go for the most expensive model that comes with a 4K screen. The display may be functional, but one of the things that people really liked about Pixelbooks were their keyboards. And with the Pixelbook Go, Google's repeated that successful formula with a keyboard that just feels really good. There's not a lot of travel here. In my testing, it just felt like the keys were shallow, but they were very quiet. And if you have a partner that lives with you in your bed and you're typing in your bed all the time, this is going to be a blessing to them. They were responsive, they felt comfortable to type on, and I actually typed really rapidly on them and accurately too. It's a backlit setup and there's dedicated keys for launching Assistant as well as the apps launcher. I would prefer a caps lock key, but if you're not someone who's always screaming at the internet, this will be fine. I also liked the trackpad on the keyboard deck there. It was roomy enough and it was responsive and fluid in my testing. Given that the Pixelbook Go is just 13 millimeters thick, there's not a lot of room here for ports, so I guess I can be content with the fact that there's two USB-Cs here. You'll use one of them to charge when your battery runs low, and according to Google, this should last you about 12 hours of regular use. When you're out of juice, it should get you about 2 hours extra life with 20 minutes of charging. That's pretty much all there is in terms of special features about the Pixelbook Go. It really is about what you're getting for the price. And so for $649, the base model comes with an Intel M3 processor with 8 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. You can opt for more storage, more RAM, and a better processor if you pay more money, of course. Now, it behooves me to tell you that there are a lot of other companies out there making so-called premium Chromebooks, Dell, Lenovo, HP, and you might get more guts or better guts for the price. They're at about the $500 range and come with Core i3 processors. This has the special exterior with that ridged base for easier grip, and it's got the hinge that's so easy to open. So if you're looking for something that comes with all of Google's features first, this might be something you want to consider. Also, if you were a Pixelbook fan but never wanted to splash the money on it, $650 might be a good price for you. Of course, other things like battery life and performance will be something we have to test out when we get a review unit in, so stay tuned to Engadget for that and all of the other devices that Google has to show in New York. So please subscribe to Engadget, and as always, thank you for watching.